We often save our clients between $30,000 to $60,000 by answering one question. And the question is, who is the operator that I really need? Here's the thing. I don't know you, don't know anything about you, but I can almost guarantee you do not need some six-figure COO that, let's be honest, you probably can't afford, which is the reason you haven't hired them yet. And so what are we left with? A company that's scaling super fast and everything is breaking apart. And I know that I need ops help, but I can't afford a COO. So what do I do? Answer this question right, and you unlock speed, growth, and profit inside your business. Answer this question wrong, and you will spend a ton of money hiring the wrong person, only for them to not perform, and then you have to fire them 6 months later and start all over again. In this video, I am going to answer all of the most important questions around who's the operator I need, what should they be doing, how much should I be paying them, so that when you go out to find the right second in command, you know who you're looking for, you hire them successfully, and your company gets to skyrocket as a result. So let's dive into this, shall we? The first thing we need to understand with operators is, just like any other department, there are levels. Let me give you a different example. In sales, we have appointment setters, we have closers, we have a head of sales or sales manager, and then we have like a chief revenue officer, right? There are layers to that org chart. Same thing in operations. And in ops, especially for the 7 and 8 figure startups that we work with, there are specifically 3 levels of operators. We have our entry-level operator. That's what I would call an ops manager or an ops coordinator. We have our middle manager operator. That would be a head of or a director of operations. And then we have the highest level, the C-suite level, and that would be a COO. The thing is because we never talk about what is a head of ops, what is an ops manager, we assume that COO is the only option. If I need an operator, I guess I need a COO, and that sounds really expensive, so I'm not gonna hire that person. And the irony is, a COO is going to cost you so much money for a level of experience and expertise that you actually don't need. Like, it actually won't move your business forward. So let's clearly define these 3 levels of operator, and let's match the right level of operator to the stage of growth that you're currently in inside of your business. The first thing we need to do is define these 3 roles, right? Role clarity. What do each of these levels mean? What do they look like? What do these operators even do? And which one do I need? When we go to recruit an operator for our clients, we do this with a tool called the job scorecard. The job scorecard, very simply, is a definition of success in the role. So to get you started with this, I am actually going to give you a job scorecard. Click down in the description. You're going to see a link to our leadership scorecard. This is the first step that we do with every single client, not just for their operations role, but for every role across their leadership team. So if you go into the description, you'll see the leadership scorecard. That is a job scorecard for every critical role across your entire leadership team. There is a template in there to get you started in defining that role and making sure that you don't just have the right operator, but you have the right head of sales, head of marketing, head of client success, head of product, every single job scorecard you need to build and clarify your leadership team. It's a gift, it's free, from me to you, it's in the description, grab it. Cool, let's start at the bottom, ops manager, and then we're gonna work our way up. So starting at an entry-level operator, right? An ops manager, an ops coordinator. Who is this person? What do they do? And at what stage of growth should I be looking for an ops manager? An ops manager, very simply, is somebody who is focused on making the day-to-day of the business work better. So they are on the ground level, working alongside your team, and they are building and tightening systems. They're building out processes and SOPs. They're starting to identify critical hires and help make critical hires. They are living in the day-to-day present of your business, and they are reacting to whatever is breaking, right? So if you have a day-to-day that feels like it is chaos all the time, and you don't have systems, and you don't really have SOPs or processes, and you just need a low-budget hire to come in and straighten things out and minimize day-to-day chaos so you can keep growing, that's an ops manager. Generally, the stage of business growth that we recommend for an ops manager, if we're really being general here, guys, and I am giving you a rough guideline here, if you actually want to know the exact operator you need for your business and your goals and your business model, come talk to my team. But for the purposes of a rough guideline, if you're doing less than 7 figures a year, for most business models, an ops manager is going to be just fine. A good ops manager in the US is going to cost you anywhere between 60 to 80K. And again, they're going to be in the weeds of your business, highly tactical, building systems, building processes, supporting your team. So that is level 1. When you get above 7 figures, which is all of our clients, right? 7 to 8 figures, that range, that's where we look at head of operations, head of ops, director of ops. Again, the job title doesn't matter as much as what is the role? What's the job scorecard that we're looking for here? A head of ops is going to be able to do all of the things that an ops manager does, right? So they know how to build systems, they know how to build processes, they know how to hire people, they can do all that day-to-day tactical, but what they also bring to the table is 2 key things. They bring team leadership. So if right now you are managing too big of a team, too many people are reporting to you, and you need to hand off management responsibilities and have somebody else lead your managers or parts of your team, then you're looking for a head of ops. They have the skill of building, managing, and creating performance and accountability around an A-player team. They don't just know how to hire, they know how to lead, they know how to manage, they know how to up-level, they know how to fire, and they can do all of that so that you don't have to. So the head of ops brings in team leadership, and they're also going to start to bring in strategic thinking, right? So a head of ops is someone that you can say, hey, here's where I wanna go, and they're like, cool, here's what we're gonna need in order to get there, right? Here's the team, here's the systems, here's the org chart, here's the data, here's what it's gonna take for us to achieve that vision, right? So they're starting to be more proactive. They're starting to look into the future of the business with you. They're looking 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road saying, hey boss, this is where you want us to go. Okay, these are the things that I need to proactively build and work on in order to get us there. And so you now have another leader who is working on your business proactively. Head of ops is most often what we hire for our clients. Again, between that 7 to 8 figure revenue range, a head of ops is going to be great. And generally, they're going to run you anywhere between, on the very, very low end, like 80 to 90K a year, all the way up to a really good head of ops can make 120 to 150K a year, depending on how you structure their compensation, which is also something we help our clients with. So reach out to us if you have questions about that. Okay, so that is a head of ops, which is not a COO. So the very good news that I have for you is that if you're not doing multi 8 figures, or you don't have it in your strategic vision to scale to like an $100 million exit, then you actually don't need a COO. What is a COO? A COO, a Chief Operating Officer. When you hire a COO, what you are hiring is someone who has been there and done that. That's what you're looking for. You're saying, hey, I'm at 20 million and I want to get to 100 million and I have no freaking idea how to do that and I have no idea what that's gonna take. Cool. Then we will go hire you a COO who has the decade of experience scaling a business in your industry to 100 million and knows exactly what that's going to take and exactly how to get you there. When you're buying a COO, you're buying their knowledge, you're buying their experience, you're buying a person who says, I'm going to tell you what needs to happen in order to grow the business to that goal. Here's exactly how it's going to look. Here's the step-by-step breakdown. Like, they are a true decision-making partner. They are a strategic collaborator. They are co-creating this business with you. And because of that, and because of all the experience that it takes for them to know how to do that, COOs are really expensive, as they should be. COO salaries can be as high as 250, 300K plus some sort of equity or performance share on top of that. So again, the very good news is if right now you've been delaying hiring an operator because you're like, yeah, I know, Jhana, and I can't afford a 200K salary right now, gorgeous. You don't need to. What about an 120K head of ops? There's $80,000 back. Congratulations, you're welcome. Or even better, a 60K ops manager, right? So the reality is that even if we have the budget, hiring in this crazy experienced COO, what we're hiring in is a strategic thinker. But if we're at 7 figures or multi 7 figures, what we need is a strategic doer We need somebody who can roll up their sleeves, get into the weeds of our business, and straighten that out. And that is not a COO. COOs are strategic thinkers and big decision makers. They don't want to be down in the weeds building out SOPs. And so not only is it a waste of your money, but it's actually not going to get you the operational result that you're looking for. So don't waste their time, don't waste your money, and instead hire the level of operator that is a match for the stage of growth that your business is in right now. And then we can look at that operator together and say, okay, is this person capable of growing into the next level of operator that my business needs? Or 1 to 2 years from now, will I need to hire in that head of ops in above my ops manager or that COO in above my head of ops to take my business to the next level? But you're not there yet. So don't spend the money as if you are just to not get the result that your business really needs. Again, this is such a critical hire. I have seen clients spend $50K more on a salary for someone that came in, underperformed, and quit simply because they hired the wrong operator. This is why we step our clients through this process by auditing their business and figuring out who is exactly the operator profile that you need, going out and finding exactly that person, setting up the compensation in exactly the right way, onboarding and ramping them up so they are working on exactly the right things. Like, there is a lot of steps required to not just get the right operator, but make sure they're doing the best work that they can inside of your business. This is literally what we do all day, every day. And if you check down in the description, there is actually a link to book a call with my team where we can dive deep into the operator that you need, who you're looking for, and how, if at all, we can support you in finding them. My team would love to have that conversation with you. Go ahead, grab a time, and we will talk to you very soon.